Alright, Steven, hopefully you can see this. And this is close enough so you can tell what I'm doing. I got white EP and some pink thread, so hopefully that'll stand out a little bit for you. Anyway, yeah, this is how I X-wrap. It's really pretty easy. It just takes, if you know the tricks to it, it becomes a lot easier, and a lot easier to manage. But yeah, it can be a little daunting if you don't know some of the little shortcuts for it. So let me just put a half hitch in this so it'll have a stopping point and won't just slide back when I try to go. So what I do for X-wraps, start with a piece of EP. I don't know, I wouldn't go thicker than the width of the shank of the hook. If you can see that, like it's about the same width as the hook. If you go too thick, it's going to get a lot harder to manage, and it'll slide around a lot more. So kind of the thinner matchstick pieces or just hook width pieces are a lot easier to manage. You may have to do more layers of it, but that's not an issue. Alright, so for X-wrapping, all I do is just kind of put your EP at about a 45-degree angle, and I only go 5 wraps. So, and I don't even do these very tight, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And really the trick here is to get these, you know, your thread may wrap like wide like that, but the way you kind of control that is you just grab your EP and then kind of work it back, and that'll tighten your wraps down into one consolidated kind of wrap on top of itself. So you just pull back a little bit, back towards the back part of the hook, and then you just come back on this side and do another 5 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, you don't need a lot of you don't need a lot of thread tension there, because really what you're going to do here is repeat the process of pulling back on this EP, and that's going to really tighten your wraps down. So you don't have to pull super hard, but just kind of push it back. Once you get more layers of EP, you can really kind of crank back on this, and that'll tighten your wraps even more. And then the next trick is, once you get this all kind of consolidated into this nice X-wrap here, is you want to create a thread dam. And this is where I'd really do more wraps. Right up against the butt of this EP, I'm going to do another 5 to 8 wraps. And these are, you're going to put some tension on these wraps. And that's going to keep this nice and locked in. Now, what I'll do too, if I'm doing alternating, I'll leave this long piece. That way, it's not getting in my way when I'm doing the next wrap, when I'm doing the next piece, but I'll just do one color here. But leaving this long piece is pretty nice, because you're not dealing with a bunch of different little clumps, and all your pieces are going to be nice and uniform too, because it's all come from the same piece basically. But for this, I'll just go ahead and cut it. So the next one, you're just repeating the same process. Go right back on here. Again, if you want, you can go ahead and put, this is like a little trick you can do, is just put another half hitch here right up against where you made that thread dam. Get it right up against it, and again, that's going to give you an anchor so that your thread doesn't slip. We'll just repeat the process, just kind of pull this back. If you got the hair clip, just put the hair clip on it. And just go another 5 wraps, just repeat the process. 5 wraps one way, 5 wraps the other way. You can probably do 8 wraps if you wanted to, but there's really no need to. More wraps doesn't really do anything for you. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just kind of pull that back. Now that it's got that backstop to butt up against, I can pull harder on it. get your material set and out of the way. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, got sloppy there. 3, 4, 5. And then you see it slid off there. That's no big deal because I'm just going to pull back and give it another thread dam. And that should help you tighten up your wraps there, your X wraps. So just do 5 and 5. And again, once you get these in, you can still kind of adjust them. So adjust them as needed. Yeah, that'll help you tighten up your wraps. It's just pulling back on it, I think, is probably the biggest tip. You know, once you get it X wrapped in, each side, once you wrap one side in, you pull back, wrap the other side in, pull back, and then make that thread dam right up against it. And you may have to build another transition here, but, you know, just as you keep going, build the thread dam, do another transition. I'm using, this is 210 flat wax, so it's not ideal for doing this because every time I do one of those thread dams, it's making a fat section, so I do have to make a transition every time. But if you go with 6/0 or something, it'll work a lot better. But that should help you tighten up those wraps. And then again, get yourself a good pair of scissors for cutting it. Hope that helps, buddy.